were some of the points of emphasis after watching film for guys?
I think just where we have room to improve and how we learn playing with one another and how we can solve some of those things. I think there were some small things that make big differences. Communication, chemistry, those types of things. But the foundation of, competing, playing selfless, I think we did a great job of that.
Generally, giving up 94 shots last night, 10 more than your season average last year, but still keeping them to, I think, 83, 84, which is right around what you guys were keeping opponents to last year. Is that kind of what you are looking for in general as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think, obviously we forced quite a few turnovers last night, which was helpful for us. I do feel like there were some early shots that we could have found better looks on the back end. But again, game to game, night to night might look a little different for us. We know who we want to be stylistically. But I can't go out there and say, every night we want to, shoot this number, right? We don't like to play the numbers game because, teams are going to play us differently. Pace is going to be different. So, we want to be good enough to take advantage of, whatever's in front of us as we play our system.
Was Jarrett able to practice today?
We did not do a whole lot today, and Jarrett was present.
Was everybody else present then?
Everybody was present. Yeah.
That's good enough. When looking at last night, were you pleased with the defensive effort just because you guys were expending more energy on offense? And are you willing to accept maybe that you're not going to be perfect right away, even though defense is really your guys' bread and butter and right there?
Yeah, I think what we showed, and this is where I am proud of the guys. It's all of our conversations about us wanting things to be difficult. We found a way when it was winning time to do really difficult things. Defensively, I thought we were phenomenal down the stretch, getting stop after stop, being down and not giving in because we knew we could trust in our defense after playing 43 minutes of basketball. So, we'll improve defensively because of our system and guys just getting to know it. Obviously, we're different when we're that small on the floor also. That impacts us. We miss Jared Allen. That impacts us defensively. But, again, I give our guys a ton of credit because they were able to get stops on command. So the more and more they play together, the more comfortable we'll be. And not have to sacrifice our defense for our offense.
And this opening schedule, it's Brooklyn, it's Oklahoma City, it's Indiana, Orlando's down the pipeline as well. They're all young, so I'd be kind of in a similar spot where you guys were maybe a year or two ago. Is it a good test just to kind of get your feet wet and just kind of get ready for what is going to be a pretty tough regular season?
Those teams you mentioned, and I just look around the league, the depth in this league, it goes as far as I've seen it in a long time. We talked about this before, but I think up to 2 weeks to go in the season last year, there was 26 teams that were fighting for play-in or playoff, spots. Those teams got better. So there are no, show up and go out, and win games. This is going to be a challenging season for everybody. And, you have to be prepared to be the best you can be that night. Our goal is to keep doing this throughout the season. So we're going to learn lessons. But it's not about the opponent. It's more about us and what we do.
And I know you said Jared was present, and I won't dig much deeper than that. But if you were to play Friday, would you rest him on Saturday, or would you rest him Friday, play him Saturday, just to kind of be cautious and ramping back?
Yeah, I don't think those are questions that we'll answer just yet.
When you look at the way you guys had to dig deep defensively there at the end of the game, it kind of took away from the fact that you guys had such a good start offensively, and you were doing a lot of clapping because the guys were getting up and down. Do you feel like the fatigue kind of settled in there in the fourth a little bit, or is it just they have to kind of get used to it with their legs?
Well, I think it's typical NBA basketball, and I think that's where we have to continue to break habits. The game slows down in the fourth quarter, right? Typically, but if you're really good early in the clock and moving and all that stuff, why not continue it? So I think what we're doing is we're trying to just break habits that you see all over the NBA. I think, you talk about like the Warriors of past, the Spurs of past, like they understood in the fourth quarter in a 6-point game what a transition three or a transition dunk could do as a momentum shift to kind of shut the lights out. But when you look at typical NBA basketball, people slow down in the fourth quarter. They try to orchestrate more things. So I think for us, it's just a matter of breaking those habits. And again, finding the balance of who we are, right? Like, we're not going to be doing this all night. But we want to be explosive when we get stops and turnovers. And then we have the ability and capability with different guys to grind you out in the half court. So again, it's us working to find that balance. One game, I thought we were good at it and understood it, but obviously there's room for improvement, and we'll get there.
What sort of habits are you looking to break when you're talking about that stuff that they got to kind of unlearn?
I mean, it's just like what happens after a miss, so having the confidence to continue to keep running and make the right play going at speed instead of slowing it down, letting the defense get an opportunity to sit. Like, we've got guys who, Isaac Okoro is elite in the open court and puts a ton of pressure. So if he's running, like, let's throw him the ball and give him an opportunity to make that play. But again, it's our comfort zone to be cautious in those moments and make sure you get a shot. But I think you have to feel free, because when you play that way, you do turn the ball over more, right? So you want to limit those mistakes so guys kind of pull back a little bit. We just have to get confident enough to do it and do it the right way.
You had to be pretty excited about Okoro's night last night. Is that kind of pretty much what you're looking for from him?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say enough positive about Isaac. And, nothing's changed from day one. He's gotten older and, he talks a little bit more now. But, like, the type of person he's been and his work ethic and, the ability to just do winning things, like, that's always been Isaac Okoro. And, again, like, it seems like people want to write him off year after year. And, for us, he just keeps playing and keeps doing things to help our team win. So, he had a great night on both ends of the floor, and he's just him. And, I'm proud of Isaac for that.
With him and LeVert on the floor at the same time, that gives you a pretty good defender. Do you believe?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, last night, obviously, they had Bridges and Thomas on the floor. Like, they had some really good offensive players out there. So to be able to play Isaac and Karras together just gives you an opportunity to match it. And then, obviously we have our advantages offensively with those two guys on the floor and how we can exploit that as well.
How good does it feel to pull off a win like last night ahead of the home opener, knowing you're coming back to Cleveland with fans who are ready to play?
No, we're excited. Like, playing in front of our building and our fans is always awesome. We have some of the best fans in the league. There's no doubt about it. Even when you're an opponent coming to play here, like, there's an energy and a vibe that's been in this building for a long time. Like this is a fun place to play, because of that energy. But even better being the home team and the team, they've got your back. And we've seen it. Like, there's been momentum waves that we've ridden because of our home court and our fans. So we're looking forward to it. You always want to get that first one, just to kind of get the season going and get that off your back. But being able to play in front of our own fans, we're excited about it.